Hello guys, in this video we are going to see different types of authorization supported in Postman. So let's get started. So you can see the first one is no auth. So this is the default one provided by the Postman whenever you are creating a request. Okay. So it specifies like the authorization is not required for the request you are creating. So if your request doesn't require any authorization, you can select no auth from the authorization tab drop down list. Okay, so let's see. uh, yeah, you can see by default, like whenever creating the request, you are saying no auth. Okay, by default. So the second one is API key. In the request you want to send a key value pair as a username password, so you can send as a key value pair. So for that you have to select API key from the authorization tab, and here you can see key value pair is there. Here you can add key and value as well. So there are two types you can provide this API key, in header as well as query parameter. Okay, so two option is there, query parameter and header. In head, while when we are selecting header, it will pass in header key value pair, and if you are selecting query parameter, then in query form it will pass in URL. It will form a query parameter like user this key equal to this, the value you have entered, value equal to the password you have entered. Okay, so this is the second type of authorized supported by Postman API key. Third one is barrier token. So barrier token enables request to authenticate using a access key. It can be JSON web token, JWT. The token is a string form. Okay, it is in a text string including the request header. Okay, so you can do is like from the authorization tab, you can just click on barrier token. Here you can specify token. Okay, so token in sense, it will have your user role, what all application access you have got, and for this API you are having the particular access on. Suppose the API, this API needs user admin role access. So in the token, in JWT token, for example, in that if you search, it will have all the access rights and your role. So according to that, you can use this API or you can access the data. If you are not having that access role, you won't be able to hit the API, get the response. Okay, for that you will get 403 forbidden. Okay, so the next one is JWT barrier. Okay, so Postman also support this generating AWS barrier token to authorize request. So you can enter a payload in the editor and JWT token are generated and added to the request. So how you can do it? You can select in the authorization tab, you can select JWT barrier. So in this, the algorithm, you can use different algorithm. This is SS256. Okay, this is algorithm. Okay, so there will be RSA also as well, RS 256. Okay, and secret key, you can specify any payload. Okay, it will encrypt that the secret code and can pass it. Okay, so you can also select this secret based 64 encoded. If you enable, it will base 64 encode that the outcomes of secret key and algorithm applied on it. Okay, so here also you can add this JWT token in two ways: request header or query parameter. So in question mark, and like in that you can pass it. Okay, okay, so let's see the fourth one, which is base auth. Basic authentication involves sending a verified username and password with the request. Okay, it is the simplest form of authorization. Okay, so you can see base, you can, the authorization tab, you can just select from the type basic auth. Here you can simply pass username and password. Simple, it's the simplest form of authorization. Okay, so like this you can authorize your request and can get the resource response. This is the most common used authorization in Postman. There are also like digest auth 1.0, 2.0, auth authentication, AWS signature, and DLM authentication. But majorly this all what I have shown, this is normally used. That's it from my side. Bye.